Hello everyone, my name is Joey Gerbis and I'll be telling you about my most memorable meal. I had a problem with this assignment just because I couldn't find a good background story or a good meal going together, but after some time I was able to finally find one. To set the stage for this meal, it occurred 2 summers ago, or the summer before COVID hit. I was on vacation with my family and my roommate Mark down at my grandmother's house in Florida. On this particular day, we made plans to go deep sea fishing. My stepdad, Mark, my youngest brother, and myself all were planning to go. If you haven't been deep sea fishing ever before, the boat leaves the dock before the sun even comes up, so we were up extra early, a lot earlier than we all imagined. I remember we were on our way to the dock. I was still itchy-eyed and half asleep. It was still dark outside, but we were driving. I was sitting in the front seat of the car, and all I see is this big flash that lights up the whole sky. We all thought it was a shooting star, but we eventually found out that it was a rocket taking off from a nearby NASA plant down in Florida. We were all convinced that that was going to be our moment that was going to show us that we were going to have a good time on the boat. We finally got to the boat and got registered, and we're standing around waiting for the captain to let us on the boat. We had never been fishing before, so we let all the regulars get on the boat first. We were the last ones on, and we were stuck with the worst spot on the boat, which was the front. But as I mentioned before, we had that shooting star on our side. Everyone got situated, everyone got seated, the captain checked all the boat, and we were off. I can remember all the smells on the boat. It smelled so bad. It was a mixture of salt and that nasty chum smell, which is the bait that they used. It's a bucket of blood and guts and cut up fish parts, and yeah, you can imagine it was nasty. But we were driving for what felt like an eternity, but finally the boat shut off and the captain said we were allowed to put our lines in the water. Within the first 30 seconds, my brother didn't even bait his hook. He waited for the deckhand to bait it because he didn't want to touch that nasty chum. And within 30 seconds, he was reeling in what we found out was the biggest fish of the day. There's that shooting star or rocket foreshadowing how the day was going to go. After a long day of fishing, we happened to be the catch by far the most amount of fish on the boat. Then it was eventually time to go back. So as you know, we were going to have that long trip back to the dock. My brother, Mark, and I all passed out on the boat. We were tired from catching all those fish. We finally got back. We all woke up, unloaded the boat, and got our stringer of fish, which is the line that all the fish were on, and we carried them to the dock to have them cleaned and bagged and ready for us to take home to eat. We had our big bag of fish and a lot of smiles, and we were walking back to the car, and we could not wait to tell everyone all the stories from our big day of fishing. Once we got back to my grandma's house, we all showered and got ready for the feast that we were getting ready to have. The plan was to have a big seafood broil. For those that don't know what a seafood boil is, it's where you get a gigantic pot of water, basically, and you throw all the fixings in, so all the ingredients and spices, and have them all cooked together so the tastes can kind of combine and make a big meal. We had corn and crab and shrimp and lobster and sausage and potatoes and all the spices of the spice cabinet. It was smelling very good. As I got out the shower, I was overtaken with all of the cooking. It was in the pot and it smelled just like your grandma's spice cabinet, so it was smelling very nice. I was in charge of the table and the paper. I was putting it out in the screen porch. We set the table up, and then finally the pot was done cooking. We took the pot off the heat and slowly poured it out on the table, and everything was laid out. There was so much food, and I was so hungry after the long day, I really didn't know where to start. The food was so savory. Probably should have used a bib. I was dripping out the bottom of my mouth. I started with the crab legs, then moved to the corn, then to the sausage, then to the shrimp, then all the way back through. It was one of those meals where you wish your stomach could take more and you wish you could eat more, but eventually you couldn't. You had to stop. I was just induced into a food coma, so I finally had to push myself away from the table and go sit on the couch. And after that, I finally passed out and was ready to do it all over again. So that was one of my most memorable meals, and I wish I could do it again. And if you ever have the opportunity to taste a seafood boil, I hope you take advantage of that opportunity. I'm Joey Gerbis. Thank you for listening.